The Dorm Disorder podcast contains real stories, adult language, and occasional chaos. Some content may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Now on to the episode.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Dorm Disorder podcast. Just like always, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. We're trying to grow this community. We need you to join this journey with us and bring your friends and anybody else you know along with you. As you can see, we're living in a different place this weekend. I think it looks pretty good. How about yourself?
It does. It does. Welcome to the new Dorm Disorder podcast. It's not really new, but the location is new. But welcome either way. And we want to talk a little bit about Founders Day because we were at Founders Day. So we want to thank everybody that joined us, that stepped on the set, that sat down with us and told their story. But I also want to thank everybody that purchased anything from us during Founders Day. Everything that was purchased is actually coming back into the podcast. So we cannot thank you enough. I know Mike feels the same way. It was a great day for us, not only getting a chance to meet new people and sit down and listen to new stories, but also seeing everybody with the Dorm Disorder merch. I do want to ask one question, though. I'm going to beg everybody that purchase it, if you wear it, take a picture, post it, tag me and Mike so we can show other people that, hey, listen, this gear is good, it's quality, the vinyl's good, and it lasts. So wash it, dry it, it's not going to matter. I've done mine about 15, 25 times now, and there's not a crack in it, so.
Well, we got a couple housekeeping things to talk about, too.
Yes, indeed. And yes, indeed.
If you want to get yourself that merch still, you can go on dormdisorder.shop. That is the site that will take you straight to our shop so you can buy anything that we currently have available. We plan on expanding the menu.
Absolutely.
And either way, if you don't get to dormdisorder.shop, go to dormdisorder.com. See what the latest episode, we do post it there, so it's easy to find, and you can always know what's going on. Which, we have a small little announcement that we need to take a little bit of a break for a few weeks. Life is busy, work is busy, not only for us, but for these wonderful people that run the studio here at Fitty Podcast. We love these guys. They need some time off. And to be honest with you, so do I.
Absolutely. We also do want to mention, we did receive a donation from one of our sisters. From one of our sisters, class of 1995, superstar, Kim Ford. We appreciate you, sis. Thank you so much. And yeah, if y'all want to donate, let me know. Let Mike know. We would appreciate it because we do want to keep this thing going and we want to keep telling people stories. So
that's his way of reminding me that I need to get our Patreon live. And we will get that done very soon. And it'll be linked through our website, dormdisorder.com. Promise you.
100%.
Well, I think we talked enough.
Yeah.
There's one thing that Girard is known for. And that's producing scholars. And we could not be happier to have a young man here today, author, doctor, master's in public health, his MBA, and of course an MD. Thank you so much for joining us, Steve Spencer.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. And I love the young man part. That was great. Thank you. I appreciate
you ain't
that.
cracking, so why we need to let these folks know how old you really are.
Yes.
We don't even
They can look it up, but that's
yeah.
Steve, real quick, from the class of 94.
I actually tried to avoid it.
We had to get that in. It's not 94, it's 94.
Y'all are so annoying. Steve, thank you so much for joining us. It really means a lot to not only talk about your journey, such a unique one too, that has brought you to such a great height nowadays. I really thank you for your time today. Not going to make that too pressural and to come back with a reply. Mm-hmm. We're going to start you off right where we start everybody else off. How'd you come to Girard College?
Wow. So it's a really great story, and I talk a little bit about it in my book. But I distinctly remember my mom saying, I'm going to sign you up for Girard College. I had no idea what Girard College was, had no idea what to expect, but it sounded interesting. So she signed me up, did the application. We went through all the, the testing and everything that you had to do. And then one day they said, oh, you've made it. You got into Girard College. And when I thought about it, I actually thought about Girard as a camp. I had never been to a summer camp or anything like that. But in my head, that's what I thought. And so I distinctly remember the day, September 17th, 1984. And so we come up to the gates, and you, of course, see Founders Hall, and it's very grand, and I'm excited. I'm a 7-year-old about to go to 3rd grade, and I'm really excited about going to the school and come in, and everything's great. And my mom leaves. I had no problems. It's interesting because when I tell that story, people are like, oh, my God, you went to boarding school when you were 7 years old. That must have been so tough. I was like, no, I wanted to go. I thought it was like this camp that I got to get away from. We may get into it a little bit later, but as with everything else, the first few weeks were a little bit rough. Yeah. Because now you're adjusting. So the camp piece went away very quickly in the first 24 hours.
Did they give you draws on your first day?
I assume they did because I don't remember not having them.
So you got draws.
I do remember that. I remember going to the getting the clothes from laundry and everything, which actually I thought was very cool too, because again, we came from pretty modest means, and so I basically saw it as free clothing. I was like, oh, this is great too. They give you the clothing. This is amazing. But then pretty soon I started having some issues, and I wanted to push the boundaries. So I was, up at night. I was messing with my classmates, and this extended from, the residential sections to the academic sessions. So in the academic sessions, I was throwing paper airplanes. I was disrupting the class, and it was a bit of a mess.
I can't imagine you as one of the bad kids.
Yeah, so for about 4 or 5 weeks in the beginning, I was one of the bad kids. And I was sent to the principal's office multiple times. And I distinctly remember my house parent, Ms. Shellhammer, having a conversation with my mom.
That's
and
amazing.
She said, I'm not sure if this is the place for him. And then I remember my mom saying, well, let's give it some time. In the midst of that, a few weeks later, I received my first report card. And in that report card, I received straight A's. I don't know how I managed to do that while throwing paper airplanes, but somehow that happened. And everything changed completely. I was now sold. The positive reinforcement that I received from that accomplishment changed everything, changed my behavior. I was now determined that I would get straight A's every single time because of that positive reinforcement. So Charles E. Beard was my principal, who I had seen multiple times for behavior reasons weeks prior, but now had completely flipped in terms of my interaction with her, because now I was one of the good kids who was on honor roll and getting in straight A's. And in fact, there's a picture of her giving me a certificate that's one of the historians from Girard showed me.
Oh, wow.
She's giving me a certificate in one of those, auditorium honor roll presentations. So that was my beginning of Girard's story.
Very traumatic time for him with the underwear. Very traumatic.
I sensed there was something going on with the underwear, so I was trying to remember underwear, but I couldn't remember anything specific. I'm sorry, I couldn't commiserate.
While we're on this underwear, do you think when we got older they should just give us boxers? Why? I mean, eventually I started bringing my own. I'd say I brought my own boxers, but it was.
Because there was a shift, I guess, as you get older, that you're more likely to wear boxers.
You don't want to wear
tidy whities were the thing. The loom. And they weren't going to give you anything else but tidy whities.
Probably by 8th or 9th grade, Girard draws was out of the equation. I never wore them. Well, wait a minute. No, that's not true for me. I already go back to my own story. My mom realized that my drawers was used, and was like, no, you're not wearing those. Right. And bought me all new drawers. I always wear my own drawers. Yeah.
These are interesting things that I have not thought about. but one, I wonder when that transition happens, when people were like, I'm not wearing the tidy whities anymore.
Yeah.
And then also wonder, too, and I'm thinking about it in my head, I think I still wore them, but on special occasions, I would wear my own. Yeah. I wore a special outfit or something, I would wear my own underwear.
Okay, I thought you were saying the other way around.
No. The special occasions were my own underwear.
Pin number 319.
Right.
Right here. Those are the ones I'm wearing.
So you came in with the girls because the girls came in September of 1984.
Correct. Yeah. So I came in the first year with the girls.
Perfect time for you to come in because that's when they put the uniforms together. Like it was actual uniform.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not aware of what transpired prior to that, but we did have uniforms.
Yeah.
And I do remember distinctly the girls having different uniforms.
Yes.
Of course, they had that skirt, although they allowed them at some point to wear pants as well. But yes, we had very specific uniforms when I came in.
Yeah. We did not.
You did not?
We did not. My first year there was just a ragtag bunch of clothes.
Really?
Whatever fit me. As we discussed earlier, I was a 42 Husky.
I was a Husky as well. I was a Husky as well.
But I went from, moving to my grandmother. I was like 20, 30 pounds when I moved in with her at the age 5 or 6. And she fed me 4 times a day. So by the time I got to Girard, I was Husky.
Yes, I was a Husky.
So if you was one of the kids just cutting up in class, I know you have a dorm disorder story that you probably should tell us right now then.
Well, see, they're very distinct. So when I was in 3rd grade, I had those few weeks of acting out. But pretty much I was pretty on the good side for most of my time at Girard. I was what you would call, I was an observer. So I loved dorm disorder because I would observe it and I just thought it was hilarious. I thought it was funny. I would laugh the whole time. But I usually didn't take part. But I could tell a story about high school where there was definitely some dorm disorder that took place. I don't know if you want me to fast forward to that particular incident.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So ironically enough, that took place in my senior year in high school. And we had to take subject matter tests for college. Mm. So you took the SATs to get into every school, but if you wanted to get into one of the higher tier schools and Ivy League schools, they made you take subject matter tests. Mm. And the following day, we were going to take them at St. Joe's Prep. And so we were there over the weekend on Friday night. And the next day, we were going to take these very important tests that was going to help us to get into these prestigious institutions from all over the country. And so we decided that on that night before these very important tests, we were going to experiment with some alcoholic beverages.
I can't believe this is happening right now.
And I had not imbibed in alcoholic beverages, although interestingly enough, and this is in the book, my mom ran a speakeasy. But despite that, I had never imbibed in alcoholic beverages. So I thought that was the perfect time right before this really important test. And so one of my classmates said, I'll go to the store and get you the alcoholic beverages. And there were multiple people who took part in this. And of course, I wasn't going to, it was a malt liquor of 40.
Yes.
And I wasn't going to drink a whole one. So I shared it with someone else and I had some of that the night prior to my test. I don't know how it affected my test. I did get into all the schools I applied to. But that is my dorm disorder story.
It's not your kryptonite.
Yes.
It's not your kryptonite.
It's not my kryptonite.
So as a doctor now,
yes,
does it appall you the level of spit swapping we did in the 90s?
Yeah. Again, try not to do that too much, but I will say actually with the malt liquor, I didn't take it. We had some sort of cups or something.
Yeah. No.
So something occurred where we were able to doll it out, and I got half, and then the other person got half of it.
Smart kids always pass the 40. The smart kids pour the 40 and not pass it.
And the irony of that whole thing is, of course, I hated every moment of it because it tasted terrible, and I still hate beer to this day. I cannot drink beer.
That's not a beer. It's a malt.
Well, it's a malt liquor.
That's a whole different.
It is a whole different.
You should have started with some Colt 45. Billy D, man. Don't start with the St. Ides.
It's funny. I was thinking about this story, and I was like, "What was it?" I know it was a malt liquor. I was like, but I couldn't remember the exact brand. I don't know if it may have been a Colt 45.
It works every time.
It works every time.
You passed your test.
I passed my test. Maybe there is something to it.
That just tells you how damn old we are. We over here quoting Billy.
Right, Billy T. Williams.
Jesus, Tyler, you don't even know who that is. Young Tyler said this. She's like, I don't know.
And the smoothest cat, like the
Billy
smoothest
did.
cat in the world is selling malt liquor, which is also strange when you think about it.
Lando
Calrissian.
Cloud City.
All right, so that actually makes me, we are talking about Lando. So you have an obsession, borderline clinical obsession with a celebrity yourself.
Control.
How did this obsession with Janet Jackson come about?
Wow. So me and Janet go way back. So I will say I was keenly aware of her in Good Times, and I was keenly aware of her in different shows. And it was kind of a little attraction, like, oh, she's kind of cute, and, she's bubbly and shy, and that was kind of attractive. But then we had Control, which was, again, built up a little bit. But something happened during Rhythm Nation. And that's when it went into sort of this clinical pathology piece, where it was literal obsession. I would listen to her music all day long, continuously, watch all the music videos. When I went home every weekend, I watched the music videos continuously. I made other people watch the music videos. So people who weren't interested at all in Janet Jackson, I would sit them down and force them to watch it and then look at their reaction, like, imagining they were like, oh my God, this is great, but they weren't. I was the only one that kept being excited. And ironically enough, I had seen it 150 times and I was so excited. And they were looking at it like, okay, it's pretty good, but okay. And I look back at that time and I was truly obsessed. I don't even know how anyone could be that obsessive about a person. And it has continued. So I have probably seen 15 Janet Jackson concerts. But it would never be like it was in the late 80s, early 90s when the obsession was truly at its height.
I cannot hear a Janet Jackson song to this day and not think of Steven Spencer. Like it's in my brain. I'm like, Steven Spencer.
And I had every poster. The posters were plastered on my walls in the in our dorms. I had all the calendars. I put the books. It was a lot.
That's crazy. That is a good point to segue into one of your concert attendances. But during our pre-talk process, you brought up an interesting story about. Now we all know everybody at Girard was broke back then. Mm-hmm. Everybody was broke.
Broke.
But we all internalize that or acknowledge that differently. And you did not like it so much.
Correct. So one of my best friends, Ron Glass, his mom took us to Wildwood for a week during the summer, which was amazing. And at the end of that, we had bought concert tickets to see, who else? Janet Jackson. And so I was, of course, very excited about that. I get to spend a week in Wildwood, and then I get to see Janet Jackson at the end. But one thing was causing me immense anxiety. Mm-hmm. And that was the fact that I knew after the concert, Ron's mom would have to drop me off at my house. Mm-hmm. And we lived in a very rough neighborhood. Yeah. And my house was fairly rough as well. And so I kept thinking of ways to avoid this, because the most embarrassing thing is to think, oh my God, they're going to know how poor I am. Again, not really thinking at the time, so as most of the people who we go to school with. Yeah. And so I kept trying to think about it. So we go to the concert ends, and she's driving me back home, and she's asking me where my house is. And of course, this is pre-GPS and everything else. How do I get to your house? So I literally told her 10 times. I was like, oh, just drop me off here. 10 blocks from my house, 12 blocks from my house. And I have luggage, and I'm going to walk in one of the worst neighborhoods in the city at that time, at 12 o'clock at night. Yeah. And finally, she keeps asking me. We get closer and closer. 5 blocks, just drop me off here. 5 blocks, 3 blocks. Finally, I'm like, okay, my house is over there. So she gets to the house, and then she says, which I need to use your bathroom. And the sweat beads are dripping all over. I'm like, oh my God. And of course, I keep trying to think, how can I avoid her using the bathroom? I'm like, okay, she can use the bathroom. But the whole time I'm, directing, I'm saying, just go straight up the stairs and come right back down. And then after it's over, I still have the anxiety of like, oh my God, she's so in my house. What are they going to think? And it wasn't until years later, I was like, she probably didn't even think anything of it.
Right.
Yeah.
It was me who had the anxiety, me who had the problem.
Yeah.
And then also, as we talked later on with all of our classmates and understood the stories of what people were going through, you recognize that you weren't the only one. And really, it would have been great if we actually were able to be a little bit more open about what we were going through.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot. I think a lot of us kept a lot of stuff. And I didn't share with anybody, like, there was it was a little less than a year where my mom and I were like, we were in a car. Like, it was just a car. It was dry cereal. To this day, I don't eat Spam or Vienna sausages.
It reminds you.
Excuse me, I gotta just fuck those things because I can't, it literally makes me nauseous even thinking about it. So, although I don't have a problem with the dry cereal, but but we never discussed those things. So we didn't want people to know because for me, I just looked at Girard like if anybody knew anything that personal, forget it. Yeah. It was like if you get into it, you could be your best friend. You get into an argument, they're using that on you. Yeah. So we just kept everything close to vest and just didn't tell anybody anything. So when you told that story, it really connected with me.
That is definitely a Girard weapon to be deployed. Straight up, be like, why you ain't got no house? In the middle of an argument about Ninja Turtles, somebody would drop that on you.
And they probably didn't have a house mechanics. Don't bring that shit up now.
but it's also one of those full circle story moments that when you think about it, that's what makes it special.
Yep.
Right? You were going through all these things. You didn't have any money. You were a nobody. One of the other stories I tell, when I talk about my Girard story is I was in a poorly performing public school and I was a C student. You would have never picked me out of a lineup and said that dude is going to be a doctor. No one was paying any attention to me because I always say, they pay attention to the people who are doing really well, and then they pay attention to people who are doing really poorly. But those people in the middle, no one pays any attention to them. Yep. So it was only by really the grace of God that my mom said one day, we're going to send you to Girard. Because, again, I was, a middle student. And then if you look at the neighborhood that I grew up in, no one was making it out of that neighborhood with anything great. I mean, if you made it to, maybe a sanitation worker, that was like, oh, my God, you really made it. But most of the people that I grew up with in that neighborhood, jail, or they died really early. Yeah. And it sounds like, a stereotype, but it's true when I look back to those people.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost a lot of our own classmates that didn't kick around for the same reason. So, it's not just a matter of making it to Girard. It's a matter of staying and leaving on the right terms, Many people have left and do great, not say anything against you, but some have not.
Yeah.
And it's, kind of the community can still, even on those weekends home, can still pull you into a negative space and have negative consequences and results.
Yep.
Right.
So that got too heavy. So let's get a little bit lighter here. Dan, there's another athlete here.
Yes.
Steven and I tell me about my amazing soccer skills.
Steven and I played soccer together, and I will say this: we talked about it, and I'm not saying this because you said it, but whenever you got in the game, we knew you were in the game, and and it was full effort, 100%, going 100 miles an hour after the ball. So I always appreciated that because some things, sports at times came easy to me, and I didn't work as hard at it as I should have, and maybe I would have been better in life, but I took shortcuts sometimes. And to see players like yourself to come out and give that 100%, it did drive me to do better, perform better, because I'm like, here's Steven, like, who's coming in because the game's out of hand, whether we're getting blown out or we're winning, and you're playing like the score 0-0, and that shit made a difference. So I did recognize that, even though You've all acknowledged 20 times over I was an asshole. I never would have went to you. I never would have went to you and say, hey, that was really inspirational, because I would have felt like, you know, people wouldn't have think that was true from me. But no, it's you know, sitting there at 51, I can certainly tell you right now, it made a difference seeing you go out there. And
Well, Dan is being very nice right now. I was a terrible athlete. I did play soccer, and when I say play, I'll put it in air quotes, tennis and cross country. But I did feel like when I got those small chances, very, very, very rarely, to get out there, I had something to prove. And I told Dan this, and I was like, I would picture myself as Dan. And so when I was out there, I was literally Dan. It was almost like one of those movies where the person inside their brain is thinking like they're like moving through everything, they're Pele, and the people watching see someone who's clearly not athletic tripping over themselves and making a fool of themselves. I think that's what it was like, but that is what I pictured. And I always thought that was a great thing about Girard, is that somebody like me could be on these teams. Because, you know, clearly if we had a bigger school or it was a different circumstance, I wouldn't have been on soccer or any athletic team for that matter. So that's something I really appreciate about Girard, is that I was able to do those sorts of things and really do things that were outside of my comfort zone.
he just reminded me of something. Tennis.
Yeah.
So there was, I was always detained. So I was walking down. the Army on a Friday.
Say that again?
I was always detained.
You always detained.
I was always
just want to make sure we caught that.
Yeah. So I'm like walking down, and I forget who the tennis coach was, but you all had a meet or a match, I don't know what it's called, on a Friday, and half the team didn't show up. Mm-hmm. And whatever team came, they drove from some far place, and they're like, well, we want to at least play something, like, even though you all forfeited. And I remember playing in a tennis match.
Wow.
They just let me play. I don't know if it was Maduro. I don't know who it was. They just let me play.
His name was Mr. Davis. But yes, I was there.
And they let me play, and I won the match. So then I went back up, and that actually was the birth of Vainglorious. Like because I played well in a baseball game. Then I'm in a tennis match. I don't even belong.
Yeah, you don't even belong.
And then we were listening to X-Clan and Vainglorious. It was just the birth of that. But he just reminded me, because he was there that day. I didn't get a chance to play with him because we didn't. I think you did doubles with somebody else. But yeah, I played somebody in tennis. That made me think.
Brian Love. We often were doubles.
Yes.
The love. The other thing that reminds me of that when I think of tennis specifically is the dichotomy between, we were a private boarding school, but we were poor kids for the most part. But we would play all these mainline schools, and it was like this strange difference where you would feel the difference definitely when you went to those schools.
3 quarters at a time.
Yeah.
And sometimes we played folks who I don't know how were just as terrible as we were, or better yet, couldn't serve just as bad as we were. Because I think once we got the ball in play, but we couldn't serve to stay in our lives. I eventually learned how to serve. Basul could serve. It's another guy in you all's class. I'm sorry.
Huskus.
No, not Courtney. Okay. No, it was somebody else. Hanifa? Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember
that. In our class.
Yeah. All right. Somebody.
But when you think about it, though, that was one of the things I thought about, specifically tennis.
Yeah.
Because tennis is one of those games you have to learn from early on. Yeah. And we were coming in cold. But you imagine a lot of those kids that we were playing, that they had been playing in the country club and on the main line in their backyard. Yeah.
You're playing a bunch of Jimmy Connors.
Right. And we're coming here like tennis. We're not playing tennis. There was no Williams system or anything like that.
I'm sure Russell was the only person that spent time off campus actually practicing tennis. The rest of us was just like,
right. Exactly.
Got a match today.
Exactly.
You have been listening to the Dorm Disorder Podcast. Until next time, lights out.